What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Nomad sculpt video. I'm here today to do a quick short tutorial video on how to export your model from Nomad sculpt for 3D printing. Now, this is a rather simple method, but I wanted to go over a few tips for you guys. The main biggest things you guys need to know is that your model needs to be watertight, and you have to have enough resolution to make sure that the look that you're going for is there. So right now, with an orb in front of us, we're going to talk about resolution. Now, resolution, when I discuss resolution, it's more about how your model looks on the screen. Right now, my model is very faceted, and what is that going to do? If I was to export this model out right now as it is, you're going to see every single face or polygon when it is 3D printed. So it's going to be very polygonal or angular, just kind of like if you guys ever seen those low poly Pokemon 3D prints that are out there on like Thingiverse and stuff. That's low poly, that's faceted. If that is your look, then by all means go for it. But if you want something smoother or to look a little bit more organic, you're going to need to add resolution onto there. So anytime you need to make sure that there is enough polygons or resolution amount to make sure that your model is going to end up smooth. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and go into the subdivision menu. There's already a few different subdivisions on here, so we're going to crank it up to 4, and it gives us a smooth orb or sphere. So if I wanted to export this, it will come out smooth, just like the model is on the screen. Plain and simple. For any of those that have worked with 3D models but have never done 3D printing, and you understand texture maps like normal maps and bump maps and all that stuff to make things look smooth, 3D printers do not utilize that. So do not be fooled by using the maps. You have to actually place in the resolution that you need to make those models smooth. You can't use any texture maps. So that being said, let's get to our second topic, making sure that a model is watertight. So right now we have an orb, and I'm going to go ahead and add a torus. Let's make ourselves a little kettlebell. For you fitness nuts out there. I've always wanted to work out with the kettlebell, I just never had the chance. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and smooth this one out. So we're gonna go into typology and verify the model first, or validate it, and now we can subdivide it so it's nice and smooth. Okay, so right now, would we go ahead and 3D print this? No. And the reason why is if we export it like this, the 3D printer is going to be kind of confused why there's another model hovering or being in on another 3D space of another 3D model. And that's because they're intersecting. So if we go into here and look at the sphere, we're going to go into our matte caps. We're going to go into our sphere, and we're going to drop the resolution. Now, if you look at that, there's a torus right in the middle. I've never 3D printed like this because I was always taught, it's always got to be watertight. So I always made sure that my models were never just intersecting like this. I've had a model mistake where I forgot to check if there was any holes or anywhere that, air can get through or water can get through. So I didn't seal a model one time. And when I did that, the printer wasn't able to read the file correctly. So when it printed out the little minifigure that I made with it, it had a giant, or it looked like an explosion popping out of the model's chest. Kind of like when aliens burst out of a person's, stomach or chest in the Aliens movie. It looked pretty weird and kind of creepy. But that was what happened because I didn't make sure that my model was watertight. So we want to prevent that. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to attach the models together. We're just going to go up to our scene. We're going to make sure both models are selected. I don't want to save right now. Both models are selected. Go with a simple merge. I mean, in this case, this could be a voxel merge could just be fine. It'll automatically merge and remesh the whole model for you. But usually, just to be safe with higher detail stuff, I'll simple merge first and make sure that I can get the resolution that I want. Now, if we simple merge and we go into, oops, I undid, and we go into our materials and still do the opacity, even though both objects are now going see-through, you can still see that the torus model is still intersecting in the sphere. So again, we do not want that. We want this watertight no weird intersection in between them. So basically I'm going to go into my topology menu again, and I'm going to go into voxel remeshing. And what this is going to do is this now is going to make this one actual object. So it's going to seal it. So we'll see in a second what that's going to do. We're going to leave it at default 150. Play around with the resolution to see if your details are held. Personally, if I was exporting a model out of here, I would be using Blender to finalize the remeshing just to make sure I have more control of how much geometry is going to be output. But for most simple models, anything cartoony and stylistic that doesn't have wrinkles or anything like that, doing it right here in Nomad Sculpt isn't going to be a problem. So yeah, so when you're messing around with the resolution, it's going to show you the density of the mesh that's going to come out. That's what those checkered patterns are for. So we're going to hit remesh. And now when it remeshes, notice that the area where the intersection was, that you can still see the torus through, we don't have that anymore. What we have is clean openings where you can see that the torus is connecting to the sphere. Now let's go back one step to see it again. See, this was before. You see inside, and there's something in there that we don't want. After we voxel remesh, it is airtight, and it is acting as one solid object. So now we can take this somewhat kettlebell looking thing, and that is now going to be the model that we're going to export. So it's easy, really easy. You just go into your files. You're going to go down to export. You're going to select STL. We don't need color, so we're going to export STL. We're going to save it as a file. I'm just going to save it in 3D work. I say kettlebell. Name it whatever you're going to name it. Kettlebell. Save. And that's it. Now you would take that file, that 3D file, into a slicing software that you would then make your final 3D print that would be printed on whatever 3D printer you have. Plain and simple. But if you guys found this useful, please leave a comment below and like the video, help out this video get seen. But I'm also want to do a few other videos on top of this. I wanted to go back in a little bit more in depth on why I would take my more complex models and take them into something like Blender, or you know, talk about scaling and things like that for 3D printing. So if you guys want to hear more about that, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know what specific 3D printing problems you have. I've been doing 3D printing for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years. I'm still not an expert at it completely, but I have enough knowledge that I can share with you guys to help you guys out. So other than that, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you later. Peace.